Welcome back, everybody, to the Centimetre Perfect AFL podcast, just the tips edition. That is Jesse. I am Liam, and we're back for another week of tipping. Jesse, where can people find us? Tell the lovely people.
At our houses. That they can find us on Spotify, Amazon, or Apple if they're a podcast enthusiast. But if you're on YouTube, guess what? You've already found us. Job done. Also Instagram at CMPerfectAFL.
Underscore AFL, Jesse.
Underscore. Well, they'll find it anyway. I trust the algorithm to push the tide in the right direction.
Never trust the algorithm. Never. Listen, Jesse, confidence points is how we do tipping here. A little bit different to the regular 1-by-1 win. You get a point kind of tipping. What are confidence points? How do they work, and how are they benefiting you at the moment?
I'll answer the last question first because I'm better than you at tipping. Confidence points are a way of assigning a different bit of weighting to our football tips throughout the season. So 9 games in a round like this week. The team we are least confident in winning, but we still think we'll get the job done, we assign 1.2. The team we are most confident in winning, we'll assign... I can't get over the hand movement, Liam. The team we'll most confident in winning, we're going to assign 9.2. The person who has the most confidence points at the end of the season will be the confidence points champion. Now, Liam, we've had a couple of close battles in the last few weeks. You've had a big couple of weeks over me. I've turned the tide. Where do we land after round number 8?
That's right. I got ahead of you for a bit, and then after a couple of shockers, here's where we sit. Jesse, last round, I got 29, taking me to 218. You got 34, taking you to 228. You have 10 points ahead. 10 points, Jesse.
10 points.
Do I have to start getting crazy now and start putting some crazy tips on? Maybe not just yet, but probably soon.
Long season.
It's a long season.
The 9-game rounds, I wouldn't be getting that far ahead just yet, but you will need to catch up at some point.
I will, and I'm crazy enough to start now. We'll see how we go. So, Jesse, we'll start from the top with the first game of the round, as it usually goes. Boy, howdy, we'll be there.
We will. Thursday Night Footy for Fremantle. We are hosting Collingwood at Optus Stadium. The Dockers bobbing in and out of form. The Magpies, despite a narrow loss on the weekend, flying high across the board. Now, Liam, you come in as the loser of the most recent round. So you get to decide here, are you making me go first or are you going first?
You go, Jesse.
Okay, I'm going Collingwood with 6 here. I know Fremantle can do the whole surprise rubber banding back, but off a 6-day break, very mentally draining game, it's going to be very hard to see them come back into. It's actually an 8-day break because that's how weeks work. No, it's not. It is a 6-day break. Friday into the Thursday. So it is a 6-day break. Apologies, I've forgotten how numbers work.
Trust yourself, Jesse. Trust yourself in.
Thank God I tipped the right team still. Look, I don't see a scenario where Fremantle can play the way they did against even against Adelaide or against St Kilda and win this game. Collingwood, the travel for them is a question mark. I think a slight question mark still. Just by virtue of the fact that I don't do it very often. And no Pendlebury this week either. He will stay back home in Victoria, which is interesting. But also makes sense for his longevity. But I do see the Pies getting done here with 6 for me. Liam, where do you stand on this?
I got the Pies with 5, and that's basically just because what you said at the start of your tip. It's that the Dockers at home are sometimes weird and decide to play good footy. So I can't go the full 9. I can't go anything like 5 seems right. Just to give that little bit of wriggle room in case the Dockers decide to do something crazy and win a game of football. Wouldn't we love to see that?
Yes.
Let's move on to the next game on Friday, Jesse.
St Kilda hosting Carlton on Friday the footy at the MCG. Would you look at that? The Saints got an MCG home game. Hey, Liam, are you doing anything at 5:40 on Friday night? Because I'm definitely doing anything else but watching this game.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm busy. Don't you think at the G, it always adds a bit of an extra layer of excitement, doesn't it, Jesse?
The Carlton fans might bump the attendance up above 25,000.
That's true. That is true. I was actually quite surprised seeing this at the G as well. I was just like, this has Marvel written all over it.
Yeah, it really does.
But hey, what do you do?
But anyway, you're tipping first here. Who are you going with?
Carlton with 3.
Okay.
Because of the MCG. I don't know. This is one of my vibe games, Jesse.
This is the same Carlton that lost the MCG to Richmond?
Yes, correct, yeah.
Okay.
So, shut up. The I don't know, it's one of my vibe games. I don't know what it is, but the Saints seem to me, like, obviously had a really good game against Freo, but so they've been pretty fine all season. Blues have been not quite fine, but there and abouts. Like, I feel this is actually more of a coin toss than people might think. So For me, my vibe game, Carlton with 3. Also one that hopefully gets me some points back against you, Jesse.
St Kilda with 3 for me.
Hey.
I'm really surprised you've got Carlton on top here, Liam, because
Me too.
the Blues that we saw against Adelaide on Saturday were dreadful.
Yeah.
The Blues that we've seen most of the season have been dreadful.
Yeah.
They had a good little patch recently, but I don't see it. And even in the games the Saints have been losing, they've been scoring.
Yeah.
Better than they have been.
Yeah.
In recent seasons. I don't see it.
Yeah. No, I know all that, Jesse. I know all that. It's vibing. I'm just vibing and I need to try and get some points back. Okay. Let's move on to the next game.
Saturday morning football at the MCG. Well, hopefully they can lock the gates early at the St Kilda coming game and trap some fans in to attend this one. It's Melbourne hosting Hawthorn. Look, I'm going to go first here. Hawthorn with 9. Liam, what are you tipping?
Hawks with 8. I think there's one other game that's probably as interchangeable with 8 and 9. So yeah, I don't think there's much more to say about that. I think the Hawks will still bring a pretty good crowd in. Jesse, don't be too upset. And Demons are coming off 3 in a row. Maybe some of the fans will be like riding the wave. Might get 40,000 there. You never know.
They've had to put off their ski trips.
That's right.
Can't book them just yet. They've won 3 in a row.
But no, I think Hawks obviously going to be way too strong for the Demons at the G. Jesse, let's move on to the next game.
Essendon hosting Sydney at Marvel Stadium. Now, this is a 2025 Marvel matchup if I have ever seen one. Both teams coming in off wins. Both teams will be desperate to add another one into that column this weekend. Liam, who are you siding with here?
I don't know.
Yeah. And that's okay, because neither do I.
I don't know. Swans with 4. I think.
Wow.
Yeah. I think the Swans have more to give than what they are giving. I know they're not very good. I know their forward line has a lot of work to be done. But I mean, the Bombers though. I mean, also have no forward line. So this could be a 25-19 final score. We have no idea. But I think Sydney should have more class to get it done, I would say. Jesse.
This reminds me a lot of the Bombers Port game. Bombers won. I'm definitely not all in on this result at all. This was my coin toss game for the week. I like the way the Bombers can approach this if they really knuckle down on the back-to-basic style approach. Because Sydney right now are rudderless, whereas Essendon can defend. And we talked about that in our high-scoring games earlier in our main show, Liam. The Essendon are actually not too bad at defending those scores and not getting blown out in the games where they are participating in, especially against sides of lower quality this season. They were even pretty good against the Hawks defensively, I thought, as well, who are significantly better than the Swans. So wouldn't surprise me if the Bombers got this done, but like you said, Liam, does anyone really know with this? Both sides are completely unpalatable in terms of the quality they've got in the field this season, especially in that forward half. No result here would really surprise me. Honestly, once they're getting a hold of the other, just completely belting them, also wouldn't come as a shock.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to the next game. An interesting one, Jesse.
Yes, great game for the Darwin crowd to get here. Fantastic for footy in the top end. Gold Coast hosting the Western Bulldogs. 2 fantastic sides here in some pretty good form across the board. I know there's a couple of reds in the recent form for the Suns, but both sides, I think, playing excellent brands of football at the moment. I'm up first here. Dogs with 2. I find this is going to be a really close game. Gold Coast do play Darwin really well. They absolutely pummeled Geelong up there last year in similar circumstances. But right now, the Dogs are absolutely red hot. I'm happy to back them while they're running this. They've travelled to Ballarat. They got the job done. They've had to travel for Gather Round. Got the job done. They're able to move and shake. They'll be disappointed in that Fremantle loss, but they're well accustomed now to those miles in the legs. Suns will be too, but I feel like this is the one Victorian team that is able to cope with the Darwin trip, probably more so than others. So Dogs with 2 for me. They're in good form. They've got their key players back. And why you got Bont having 30 touches and 6-7 score involvements, hard to tip against them.
It is hard to tip against them, which was why it was really hard for me to tip the Gold Coast Suns with 2.
Okay.
I'm either going to be even Stevens at the end of this round or down by 47.
This is what happened when I kicked away, is that we did 3 different tips and I got all 3.
That's right. So hopefully luck is on my side this round, because that's what AFL is about. Luck. All right. That's I think the Suns in Darwin, I think it's it's people first, but away. They play it really good, like you said, and I'd like to see them keep that going. It's not about skill, Jesse. It's about what I would like to see. I'm so good at tipping. All right, let's go to the next game. I don't really have anything else to add to that. But I do like what you said, though. It is a really great game for Darwin to get. It's going to be a cracker. Next one.
In fact, every game in the Central Australian time zone on Saturday night, because the Power are hosting the Crows in a showdown. A showdown that is sure to bring a lot of feeling between these two sides here, with both wanting to prove a point against their crosstown rivals to stamp their top 4 and top 8 contention claims, I should say, respectively. Liam, you're up first here. Can the Power cause a bit of a surprise, or is it going to be the Crows on top?
Oh, they could. I mean, anything's possible, Jesse. But I've gone Adelaide with 6. I think Adelaide is a much better side, even though like you've got 4 and 4 versus 5 and 3. You just look at both these sides and how they're playing their football this year, and the Crows just seem to be leaps and bounds ahead of where the Power are.
Yep.
The latter, I think, is a bit of a misnomer this year. I'm not sure if that word is correct, but I'm going to use it anyway.
Just go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Just tip the same way you use the English language.
Exactly. I will. Just bastardize it. Geelong are 5 and 3, and they're leaps and bounds ahead of where the Power are as well. So yeah, I think the Crows are going to be too strong for the Power in this one. Jesse, what do you reckon?
Yeah, Crows with 4. Probably the team I'm regretting having a bit higher in the grand scheme of things, but it is a showdown. And we've seen ladder position go out the window innumerable times in a showdown. That is the right word to use in that context. Port can do it. And they're going to cop a baking in the South Australian media all week. They'll want to come out with a point. They'll come out with a point to prove, and they'll want to prove it. But the Crows are playing some fantastic football, and I don't think Port's defence can go with them. So the Crows with 4 for me. Let's move into Sunday. Some interesting games here, Lip.
There are, yes.
I'll start with MCG action. Tigers hosting West Coast, the Eagles, the winless Eagles, on the hallowed turf, looking to do a little 2018 grand final reenactment against the side that didn't play in the grand final. But it's the closest I can get for them to spark up and win a game here. Hopefully, they can do it for their sake and the suffering fans this season. But, Liam, I get to go first here as well. Tigers with 5, and I could have gone higher.
Wow.
I don't see how the West Coast are going to go to the G, which is where Richmond have been clearly their best this season, and get a result here.
Yeah, look, this is the one that I kind of wish I had higher as well, because I've only got them with 1. But yeah, I know. I was as we started recording, I was like, oh well, is what it is. Yeah, everything you just said is correct. They probably should handily win this, but hey, who knows? Maybe the Eagles decide that this is the week. It's not. Let's move on to the next game, Jesse.
Geelong hosting GWS at GMHB. It feels like we haven't been down to Geelong in a while on this podcast.
No.
We've been bereft of Gumba in recent weeks.
I think they kind of do like one at the start of the year, have nothing for ages, and they just keep them there for like a month.
Like training camp.
Yeah, exactly.
You're up first, Len. Can the Giants hit back off some poor form in recent weeks, or will it be mauling by the Cats?
Well, looking at our current points and how they've stacked up so far, I think we're going to go very similar here, Jesse. I think that the Cats are going to be too strong, especially in Geelong. And like we said, the Giants have just been on a bit of a free fall of late. So Geelong was 7 for me. Yeah, they're pretty good, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And I have exactly the same points for me, Geelong with 7 as well. Don't really see a scenario here where the Giants can get this done. Although, this fixture last year at Gumba was a bit of a cracker. So we know that the Giants can play down there. It's just a matter of whether they can translate that form over the top of what has been some pretty woeful form in the last month or so.
We know the Giants can play. They just haven't. Yep. Last game of the round, Jesse. Let's go.
North Melbourne hosting Brisbane at Ninja.
It's Ninja Stadium in Hobart.
That's in Hobart. That's not Blundstone or Belleriva's Ninja.
I couldn't help myself. I saw Ninja Stadium. And I was like, I'm writing Ninja on this graphic. Absolutely.
Lions with 8.
Yeah, Lions with 9. Not much more to say about that. Ain't going to be anything.
That's really distracted me, actually.
Nothing sneaky about this game. No ninjering. It's going to be a big old smashing, I reckon.
Well, they've got plenty of throwing stars in their form column, the Roos.
That's true.
No, their crosses, sorry.
Oh, well. You could have rolled with it, Jesse. I would have come along. That's it. That's the last game of the round. Jesse,
that's it. Thank you.
Sit everyone home.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the Just the Tips edition of the Centimetre Perfect AFL podcast. Let us know who you are tipping down in the comments, and make sure you share this podcast with your tipping groups around the workplace, around the school, wherever you're having a tip. Make sure you know that if you want to win the competition, listen to the small man, and if you want to lose the competition, listen to the tall man. Until next week, enjoy your footy weekend. We'll see you soon on the Centimetre Perfect AFL podcast.
Bye, everybody.